Landscape photography should never be about the final photograph. It should always be about the experience, being present and opening your mind to creative possibilities. But with a fierce Atlantic storm racing in, that's hard.
Good morning and welcome back to the channel. I got up reasonably early this morning. Things take longer in the van to do. Time you pack the bed away and make breakfast, everything's a bit longer than it is when you're running around in your kitchen. So really I could probably have done with being up a bit earlier, because today I've got a fantastic opportunity to shoot a location that I really wanted to shoot yesterday. If you didn't see yesterday's video, you'll know that I drove down to Cornwall yesterday on a 3 or 4 day van trip to photograph parts of the southwest coastal path. And after about a 3-hour journey down, I kind of ran out of time to do my second shoot. But the first shoot went excellently, and you can watch that video here or in the playlist if you want to. So today I'm going to a location that I really wanted to visit, and the weather's really great at the moment. So all being well, we're going to have another fantastic day. I've just got to finish a bit of breakfast and then put my boots on really, and we're pretty much ready to go. So I'll see you out on the coastal path. It's always worth taking time with your photography to perfect the composition, the lighting and the setup, and make sure everything is just exactly as you want it to be. To take that time to walk up and down the path a little bit and try different positions. Since I've been here, I've moved about 100 yards back down the path to get a better angle on the subject and on the coast. And that's why I didn't want to rush this yesterday. I didn't want to be rushing along and walking as fast as I could and not observing what I'm seeing around me and not taking that time and that opportunity to really embrace the landscape and understand it. And for that I've got a much better photograph. Yes, I may not have got so many on this trip, but the quality of those images that I'm producing is far more satisfying, and I'd rather produce 2 or 3 really satisfying images than 10 that I'm not really that happy with. So let's have a look at this photograph. The setup that I've got here is I've got the coast coming down around in front of me and curling back around to the old lifeboat station at Lizard Point. Seems to be a bit of a theme developing on this trip of photographing lifeboat stations. I photographed one yesterday, and if you haven't watched that video yet, then it's part of this series, so maybe go back and watch that afterwards. But this particular image is about the broil in the sea. It's about that churning up of the waves, about the light coming in from the left-hand side. And as I'm finding with a lot of the coastal photography, it's the lighting that is absolutely wonderful. But it's also that lighting that's causing me so many problems and so many issues with getting this image right. It's controlling the shadows and the highlights. So once again, I've put a polarizer filter on, which is having some work in controlling it. I've cut out some of the buildings on the top just above because I didn't want the modern buildings in. I just wanted this old rundown lifeboat station and the old slipway. In the final image, will I crop the sky out? I think that depends on whether or not it adds to the image, whether or not I can control the lighting in that area. I think this could be an exposure blend again, but I'm not sure. I'm going to try a vertical version of this composition, maybe a 4:3 or a 4:5 crop, and just see how that looks. And if that comes out as well, I'll show you both images. Okay, have a look at this image and see what you think. I've still got to get yet to the real location that I wanted to photograph, which I hope is going to be really wonderful and spectacular, because I've been wanting to get there for a long time.
I am no wildlife photographer, But the seabirds stood on the rock just off the coast gave me an idea for a creative landscape photograph with these birds included. A very slow shutter speed would be needed. My concern was the birds would move too much and ruin the image. Compositionally, how close should I go? Eventually I decided on a letterbox crop, with the rock on the left hand side leaving the negative space on the right. I envisaged a black and white simplistic photograph. When I came to edit the image, I noticed the subtle changes in colour on the surface of the water. Now maybe the colour version is my favourite. As I stood taking that last photograph, a walker approached me and shared his fears of the rapidly deteriorating weather. Sometimes trying to slow down and absorbing what is around you, be present even when out in nature, is a struggle. But with a sense of urgency I raced on. But I needed to resist the urge to think only of the destination and deprive myself of absorbing and enjoying the landscape around me.
It appears that the guy that I just spoke to was 100% right. It really is getting quite dark and cloudy. And that wonderful light that we had just now is actually gone completely. It's really dark and grey. But I'm still going to stick with the plan. I'm going to go to the location that I wanted to shoot yesterday. I very nearly made the mistake though of rushing past this spot. But actually it's kind of the greyness and the weather that's inspired me to come and take this photograph, because I'm looking out towards sea down this gorge where there's a stream rushing away, and down in the distance then we've got the sea itself and this dark brooding sky. When I process the image, I'm going to have to do my best to make sure the sky and the sea in the background is nice and dark and captures that moment. Although having said that, I haven't got a lot of the sky in. Let's put up the composition for you so you can have a look at it. So I've gone for a square crop. It seems to work really well with the water flowing away from the bottom. The sides of the valley just come in and sort of hug the sides of the rock formations and the water in the background. And there's some great breaking waves coming in and some surf and breaking water in the background. So that looks really, really well. The point is as well, of course, is that, and this is the bit that I really wanted to talk about, why I stopped here. Like I said, I nearly rushed past, but it's only when you sort of slow down and take time to really look at what you've got around you that you start to engage with the landscape. And that's when you start to produce some really original work which is unique to you. I'm sure there's been photographs taken here before, but this photograph means something to me because of the weather conditions and because of what the day is about. So I'm going to pack up, and with a bit of luck it won't come in too bad before I get to my final location. It's just around the next cove, we're nearly there. But who knows, it may be once again that I need to come back on another day when the conditions are better. We'd best get moving. Well, here we are, my friends. We've actually finally made it. Right over behind you, I'm looking straight at Kynance Cove. The last time I was here, I was probably in my early 20s, and with 30 years more experience, I hope to make a far better set of photographs than I did back then. You may have noticed, though, as I was walking down the path behind me, that I've had to put my waterproofs on. And the reason for that is it has started raining already. It seems to have stopped again for a little bit, but I can see bands of rains, bands of cloud coming in, so we may be about to get a little bit wet. So I'm not sure how this is going to go. It may not go exactly to plan, but I'm going to walk down there anyway and make the best of it, because that's what this is all about. Let's go and capture some mood and atmosphere. The tide is also out as well, so by the looks of it, maybe we've got some nice virgin sand on the beach and some patterns to pick up. Let's see what we can do.
As I descended to Kynance Cove, the weather deteriorated. Shooting became impossible, with driving rain pushing directly into the camera. We're in the thick of an Atlantic storm. Tomorrow the weather should break and it's time to put a regret to bed. Something that's been bothering me all day. Subscribe and ring the bell to catch the next episode.